Hello friends, welcome to BISP Solutions. Myself Ashwin and I work as a technical consultant at BISP Solutions, and BISP Solutions is a tech company and provides technological solutions across the world. Now this is our sixth webinar in the series of data migration, and in this webinar I am going to show you from starting to end. So those who could not attend the webinar within the last 5 days, so no problem, not to worry. Today I am going to show you the complete process from beginning to end, right? So let's start, and here I will show you each and every point on which point you need to take care of data, right? So let's start. Now let's take a scenario. Scenario is that, for example, let's take the objective first. Objective is migration of data from QuickBooks to Fusion, and here the problem is that client is working in America and recently they have opened their subsidiary in India. That means they have opened a child company in India, and now they want to retire QuickBooks and they want to switch to Fusion. So this is their requirement, and that is why they approached us. So our objective is to first make arrangement in Fusion that they daily they can work with Fusion. Second approach is migration of historical data. For example, if they want to retire QuickBooks up to 1st of April, and from 1st of April they want to insert the transactions in Fusion, and furthermore they will not be entering the data in QuickBooks. So our task is to make two facilities. One is they should be able to work with Fusion day to day. Second is we have to migrate the historical data, and this historical data migration is our primary task, right? So first of all, what we are going to do now, first of all, let's take the part. Let me show you one picture. Yeah, here it is. If I make it large, just a second. Yeah, now you can see here source system is our QuickBooks and the target system is Fusion. So first of all, just focus on these two, right? Let's take a pen also. Okay, so let's focus on this. So from switching from here to here, from here source to target, we need to follow some sequence of steps. Now in that sequence of steps, the very first thing comes in analysis. Analysis means what we are going to do. Is it feasible? In how much time it will complete? How many human resources will be required? What will be the budget and costing of this project? All these things comes under the analysis part. Then information gathering part comes. Now information gathering part comes, for example, information gathering means okay, you are working in this application, so what is the procedure that you follow? So these are the questions. Let me open, discard it first. So let me open a new list of queries. Okay, list of queries in analysis. One is what's the current procedure? What are your expectations? What are your expectations? Then what changes do you need? What changes do you need in data, right? So these are some questions that that we will ask with the client. So now what happened here, just a second, yeah, here. And then after information gathering, we will go to designing part. Now designing part means we have to design the solution, that exactly how it will work, right? So this is called the designing of application. Then comes the implementation. Implementation means, for example, they have asked us to change the sales order form. They don't need the traditional sales order form, they have their own format, and in that own format we should be able to work. So here comes the implementation part. Then comes the data migration. Now here comes the data migration. Now you can see here, data migration means source system QB and extract. Now here we will use the term extract, transform and load, right? Then in this design and implementation part, designing form, designing logics and adding the fields in form, extracting, creating saved searches, creating reports, these things comes under the part of implementation only. Now let's move further. Now once now for suppose when you are talking about the analysis part and all these things, now you have to create the BRD first. And now what is BRD? BRD means business requirement document, and this thing we have to create by our own. The developer or the consultant will create, because most of the times BRD information, or we can say the requirement information, is not getting clearly. So you need to have 2-3 rounds of meeting, then only all things will be clear to you. Okay, so let me show you the BRD also. Here is our BRD. Now BRD, here comes the BRD header page, here comes the history page, right? It's the revision history page, right? Revision means how many times this document has been revised. It has been revised last February. Okay, now okay, now let's come here. After revision history, we will see a index page, table of content. This is called the table of content. Now this is called table of content. Now in this table of content, we will write down each and everything in depth. This is how the BRD is prepared. Now see here, I will show you step by step how BRD is written. Now executive summary. Now in executive summary, what we will do, we will note down something about us or the organization who is developing that task, right? So one is executing developer. Here is in executive summary, we will write down something about us, that who we are, what we are thinking, and what is our vision. After that, after executive summary, our vision, same thing, but you need to write down different language and show it that yeah, our vision is these things, right? Next is project overview. Now here comes the important part, project overview. Now project overview means what exactly? Actually we are instructing the student or the person, those who are implementing. We will clearly say that okay, so these are called the important documentation part, right? project preview. In project preview, what is written, what type of project the company is working on, what type of project they are working on, and what is the process of your project. So all these things are written in the document. Then comes why client wants to switch to Fusion. So this one line answer is sufficient. This one line sentence is sufficient, right? Then project scope. Now project scope means what we are going to provide them, right? The number one project scope inside project scope is GL and the implementation, AP implementation, GL balance, etc. Okay, so the project scope is this. Then similarly, in scope is there, then definitely the out scope should also be there. Out scope means what we are not going to provide you. Right? In scope means what we are going to give them. Out scope means what we are not going to give them. Okay, now let's see the next come the current versus proposed position. The current versus proposed position. Okay, now see here, current and proposed process. Current proposed process means it's nothing, it is just a comparison. If you want to add, then add it, otherwise. But in huge project it is mandatory, because tomorrow Sahil will go this class. Now let's come down. Now here COA. Now see, whenever we migrate data from one place to another place, so first of all we will argue with them that yeah, okay, what type of COA structure they are using, right? Then after that, along with this, you have to provide the information that what we are going to do for them against this task, right? So we have to show them that what we are going to do and what is our plan. So accounting period is written here. See, accounting period. Then comes here currency information. Now currency information is also written here. Here you can see GL process workflow, current and past proposed. So whatever the GL process is written here, we can define it. All in all, now you can see here the hair and hair cosmetics, right? Now you can see here the reports also are there. Now I have been telling you since beginning that the higher authorities are more interested in reporting, right? So these are the reports that we are going to show you. Now O2C and P2P process, that means all in all whatever we are going to give them. So every module which is directly or indirectly associated with this project. So that is why we have to provide each and every information to them. Now O2C and P2P means order to cash and purchase to procure. So this is their used process, and this is our just a second, this is their current process, order to cash, and this is our proposed. Similarly, P2P process is current, and then the aware process is this. Then let's go to the data migration part. So data migration, in data migration, see, again one document will be written what is data migration. Okay, data migration we will emphasize more in this our today's session. Now these are the documents which are required from the client. Now see here, existing file. Now these are the documents. Now there are almost 30 types of documents, 17 types of documents. It is not necessary that every document will be used, right? And then we will go to resources. Now see, resources information we should provide. Now these are the resources. Now resources means whatever the developers that we are using. Now resources, one is functional consultant, another is technical consultant, third is technical fundamental consultant. Okay, now assumptions means, for example, we are going to implement a fusion in their company, and whatever they have provided, that is called assumption. We work based on assumptions that whatever information is given by you, it will be sent. Second assumption is related documents should be related documents. Now we have to show the limitations of the target system also. What's those limitations? Because many times the target system might also be having some limitations, so it is the duty of the consultant that we need to define the limitations of the target system also. Okay, now in this case, if you talk about QuickBook and function, so once the calendar is created in PL and ledgers are created, then the customer will not be right. So these are the limitations that we are going to show. Then we need to show the hardware and software requirement. Now hardware and software requirement is mandatory, because we know that nowadays everyone works on laptop, but it is our duty to define the hardware and minimum software requirement. Then we need to define the milestone. The milestone means these are the steps. After the end of all the steps, one product will be developed, right? So here you can see some of the points. One is project planning, then the requirement and analysis, and then the importing existing client data, create GUI, implementation, testing, final UAT, giving the training to the employee of etc. Right? And this is our address. So guys, this is what we prepare at the time of working on project. For example, okay, just a second, let me show you again very clearly. First of all, what we have done analysis, and inside this what we have done, communication. Communication analysis, inside this information gathering, creation of BRD, right? Okay, creation of BRD. Now what? Now see, once BRD is prepared, now since BRD is prepared, so we have to take the sign off also. So anytime we can provide them, and then they will provide us the sign off. After sign off, when everything is okay, now what we need to do, we have to start the tasks. a second. Okay, now the project starts. Now here comes the role of data migration. Now what is data migration? Now a very simple, now please listen this very carefully, that data migration means just sending data from this source system to target system. That's it. Now sending system from source QB, that is the QuickBooks, to target application. Okay, so for this, what we need to do, first of all, we need to download all the data, all the metadata first. So metadata, what is metadata? Metadata means the data about the data that they are having, the instructions, right? So they have taken that. Next day, then we will ask them, and similarly we will take all the metadata Excel sheet files, and then we will download the data from the Fusion also, that what type of header that we encounters, right? So here we will first of all, the data is extracted and kept in one staging area. Now what is the staging area? Staging area means nothing, it is a place where the things are temporarily kept. Okay, now let's move ahead. So now our half of the 1/4 of the task is over. Now we have created the BRD, we have communicated with the boss, and we have the company owner, and then we have communicated with the employee also, and ultimately everyone says that yeah, okay, from our side we will be helpful. Now okay, now BRD comes and we have downloaded. Now we are having one sheet that is downloaded from Fusion, and another sheet which is let's see, another file, okay, which is downloaded from the Fusion. See, let me again show you with the help of picture. This is the file, right? Okay, now this is the file. Now first of all, what we will do, we will ask them to download the data, only metadata. For example, company structure, structural organization, employee, who has joined the employee, how many employees are there, each and every file system that we will be requiring. So here comes the data migration. Now we are having two files, the one which is developed by the QuickBooks, and another Excel sheet, the ones which is used for the target. So one which is prepared by QuickBooks user. Here comes the file, then here comes file from okay. Then now we have received the two files. One is the header file that is downloaded from source. Another is in India. Okay, so First of all, we will take two files. One sheet contains the information and the headers of source, and another sheet contains only one 20 rupee. Yeah, another sheet is containing only the headers, right? Only the headers it will contain. For example, let me show you with an example. Okay, source sheet that contains okay, target sheet that is okay from the future contains only okay, that's it. Now okay, so now we are having two files. One file contains the data that is from source. Another file contains the header that is from target. Now what we need to do, we need to replace all the header names with the new one. That's our task, because then only our sheet will be able to upload. So guys, now here comes the role of programmer. Now see here, suppose there are 150 250 fields are there, so you can't do it manually. You have to make it automated. Now automation will be done in such a way that you have to provide a separate migration. Now this separate migration, now how do we do that? Let's take an example that suppose what we will do, first of all we will ask. Now here we have used the Python programming, Python developer. Now in this Python developer, what we will do, first of all we have to provide him two sheets. One sheet is for what? One sheet is for mapping, and another sheet is for extracting data and then putting data into the source sheet. And we will never what we say, we will never tamper the source file and the target file. We have to just make a copy right. So in this way you have to provide these three sheets to the developer. Now developer, what developer will do, he will convert them into the form that user wants. Okay, now let's move further. Let me open the PPT. Now see here, first of all how ETL is done. Now ETL means what? Let's come up. Extract, transform and load. Now what is extract, transform and load? Extract, transform and load means data extracting from the source, transform and then load. Now there are two methodologies. One is lift and shift, another is lift, transform and shift. Lift, transform and shift means, for example, if every company is having its own database and they are not providing it anybody, right? So we will just ask them to please download the Excel sheet of your historical data, whichever you want to enter, replace the header, and then you can further you can go to the work. So this is what we can do. So we have asked them, okay, downloaded, they have downloaded. Now see, we have to do the mapping part. In this mapping part, what is happening here? There are two sheets, one is source QB, another is target fusion. Now here as I am showing you, see mapping file, how mapping file is created. Just a second. Now see here, steps of ETL. First of all, source QB in just imagine that in source QB there are ADDR1, ADDR2, ADD supplier 1 like this. But in target system, what do they need? They need a clear language. Now for this, what we will do here, let me take again the pen. Now see here, let's take a pen. This sheet contains the data also, but wrong headers, and this sheet contains only headers because in Fusion there is no facility of water. Now let's see what developer will do. Developer will replace all the names into a separate file, and then the header of all the source file that will be kept in the separate file, separate box. Now what they will do, they will make the mapping like this. All 1000 or 2000 records or entries are there. You have to now see here, mapping is done. Now mapping is done. Now what the developer will do, developer will convert them into the will replace them programmatically, right? This is called, and one more thing, everything will be kept in the staging area. Now what is staging area? Staging area means the place where temporarily something is stored. For example, if we talk about the staging area in reference to warehouse, data warehouse. So staging area means the place where something is kept temporarily. That's it. Now here what the client will do, he will download the sheet of any metadata. Let's take the customer data or the address data, and then he will wait. Now here we will replace all those headers, and then we will upload that newly created file. Now let me show you with some practical, and for this we will use Python and data science, right? Now let me do some practical, and then it will be more clear to you. Now see here, this is the sheet, and now I am going to here comes. Now see, right now it's not looking meaningful. Right now it's not looking attractive, right? But when I will click this button, one button, here there is a developer customize button. Okay, I am hitting this button. Let's wait for 2 seconds. Yes, now it's done. Now let's see here. Today is 23rd of March. Now look at this. This is how the data is arranged. Okay, this is how the data is arranged. Now this data will be uploaded by the NetSuite Fusion consultant. Clear? Okay. So this is how we do this. Now another task. This is how we have done. So let me show you with the mapping file also. Okay, now just open this. Now this is the mapping script written in Python language. In Python language, for each cell we use the what we say, the data, right? So for each step we have to use away from here. Now what we need to do, so what we need to do here, we need to just do the mapping with the help of scripting, Python scripting. Now Python scripting, how it works here. See here we have added all the libraries. Here we comes, here my workbook, here we have taken all the data in the form of data frame in VB variable, WB variable. Then we have created the parent columns. Now see here, this is the logic which is written behind this, that parent 9, parent 8, up to 9 parent we have the facility. So we have done this. After that, this is a list where you have to put the data accordingly. Then with the help of this code, here it is written that LOC index 0.5. With the help of this, the data will be inserted in this screen, and immediately the new output file will be created, right? So this is how it's done. Now I have given you the example of only one, that is COA, right? Similarly, what we will do here, let me show you with one example more. Now this is, here we have used the Python programming. Now here I will show you the master file. Let's take the supplier file. Here is the supplier file. Let's open the supplier macro. Okay, here is the supplier macro we have already opened. Now in this supplier macro, now you can see the customer. This is the file which is derived from QuickBooks. It is taken from QuickBooks. So in this file we receive all these unnecessary rows. Okay, now first of all we need to remove the initial 5 rows. Then we have to put the filters also. So filter return code is also there. Right now, as soon as I hit this button, customize tab, go to customize tab and hit the supplier, QB supplier, right? I hit this button. Now wait for 2 seconds. Now here it is showing the folder name. Now it's today is 24, right? So now today is 23, sorry, 23, and here you will see 23 of March, right? I will go inside, and then all these sheets are ready. See here. Now this is what we have done. All these sheets are ready, and apart from this we have given the facility of drop down also. Whatever, suppose if the we have given the facility to the client that whatever they want they can do it. Now here how the task is done, let me open that also. That's one more thing we need to do. Just a second. Okay, now this is how we have taken all the, you can see here the import address name, all these things are replaced now. Now it is easy for the consultant to upload the transform the data into the Fusion, and for this we use the macro. Where is that macro? Just a second. No, this is not that file. Now let me show you the macro code also, that is most important. Edit. Here comes the macro. Now macro is different thing and Python is different thing, right? Macro is different thing, Python is different thing. Python writes the code with the help of pandas library, and here we are using macro. Macro is a facility given by Excel sheets, right? So what we have done here, let me show you. I am giving you the just surface knowledge of what macro has done here. First of all, we have defined all the values and variables. Then we have taken row 1 up to the end, right? Row 1 up to the end, and then headers. We have to take the headers also. Whatever headers we use, we are using here. Then here we are applying the for loop, right? For loop. After that, the range E1 to J1 01 V1. and then with the help of this, for example, what is this supplier na? Okay, so supplier macro, let's see this supplier macro here. What supplier has done, first of all, he has taken out this into the log file, right? After that, second task is to check, here it is, just a second. Okay, now we have to check here that what type of data that we are, what type of header that we are moving, and then only we will see here we have changed the header names, we have changed the headers, company to supplier name, bill from bill from 1, that is address line this. So all these things are done in macro part, and ultimately when macro is running, so we just need to wait for it. Just a second, where is that macro? Here. I am opening here. If I click on this again, which file is a supplier file? Okay, supplier. Okay, just a second. I have already prepared a sheet here. Now look at this. This is the sheet 1 to sheet 5, they are deleted. Changing the header name, that changing the header name is, so these are the, just a second, let me, okay, and these are the fields which are in the source and header, source and target, changed header, name changed, and here it comes the another few, right? So these are the headers which are added new, and these are the headers which are replaced, right? And in this way the complete code executes here. Okay, now it becomes like this. So this is how we write down the code of Python and the macro. I recommend you to watch my previous video that was in depth with macro, right? So you please go through my previous webinar video, and inside that everything is explained in depth, and in this way the files are uploaded. Okay, the files are uploaded, and then the testing starts. We start the testing of that particular module. Now how testing is done? Testing is done, first of all UAT testing is done, unit testing, and then the stress testing. There are so many types of testing, but depends on the company work, depends on the company work, that exactly what type of testing they want to perform. Okay, and after testing, training, hardcore documentation, handover, we have to hand over the documentation, and then the maintenance start begins. So guys, this was all about the migration of the data. Again, let's have a quick recap first. First of all, communication, analysis, First of all, analysis, then communication. Okay, then transformation, extraction of data. Fifth is cleaning the data. Sixth point is mapping the data. Mapping the data. Uploading the data, and then the testing part. Then hand over the document. UAT testing, and then hand over the data. UAT testing, stress testing. Right, and in this way, after completion of all these steps, now we are good to go, and we can say that okay, we have completed the data migration successfully. So guys, this was all about the data migration, because data migration is a part, it's not the complete end-to-end implementation. Data migration is a small part of complete end-to-end implementation. In end-to-end implementation, there are so many tasks. First is this task you have to complete. Inside that, there is a small task of data migration. This data migration is a big task. Why this big task? Because we have to take the data first, then cleaning and massaging is to be done, and then finally converting into the uploadable file which can be understandable by the Fusion, and then we have to just upload the file. And after uploading the file, if everything goes okay, then we will start the testing task. From next we will start the testing, and once testing is done, then stress testing. All these things are step by step done, right? So guys, this was all about the migration part. And if you want to see any information in depth, so I recommend you to watch my previous webinar. Inside that, I have explained, one day I have explained the complete Python process, and in one day I have explained the macro process, right? So this was all about transformation, and then the migration of the data. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe my channel. And if you have any doubt, you can put down in the comment box. I will resolve them. Thank you, friends. Thanks for attending the webinar. Thank you.